Okay, we're good. Okay, so first I wanted to start like kind of explain how and why I started doing things I did, because that changed the momentum of everything. And so it goes into my challenge groups, it goes over the power hour and stuff. And it's all because of Josh Coates. So he made me, I'm in like a private mentorship group, and his whole point is to push you, like push your thinking, because everything we do is a mindset. Inviting is scary. That's a mindset. Like all of that stuff is a mindset. So he's like, I want to push your mindset and your belief in yourself. So we went through each individual person, and I originally was like, I'll do Success Club 20 for me and 10 for my husband. And I'm like thinking those are big goals. And he's like, what do you normally get? I'm like, between 10 and 20. He's like, so why is 20 big? I'm like, well, because I'm going to get my husband to 10. He's like, no, how about 40 and 10? I'm like, okay, 40 and 10 it is. And 10 coaches a month and all these things that, anyway, sounded really scary. And then he's like, and you have to create this Google Doc tracker that I can see and monitor, and you have to complete 85% of your daily activities or else you're not invited back to this group next month. Okay. So I was like, gosh, hot dang. So I look, I'm like, well, I never do invites, and I'm looking and everybody's doing invites. So I message him. I'm like, I hate invites. I hate them. Like, can I not do them? And he's like, no, you have to do them. I was like, okay, well, I'm Micah. Think Micah. What do you make Micah do? Because I hate this. And I know that Micah hates it. So he was like, well, because I want to push you. He's like, I'm going to say you have to do them. Okay. So what I decided to do is it's easier for me to invite people if I have something to invite them to. I'm not just going to randomly message someone and say, hey, have you ever thought of being a coach? Like, where did that even come from? You know what I mean? But I would rather be like, hey, I've been thinking about you. I know you mentioned this. I'm doing a sneak peek next week. So having something to invite them to is way less awkward for me. So it's making me way more intentional with how I'm designing my months. And it's making me way more intentional with my challenge groups, because it's a whole lot easier to invite challengers to be coaches than it is to some random person who's never done anything, right? So I started off with my challenge group at the first of the month for the health bet. And we kind of talked about that. We're doing the quarterly format. That's what I'm doing. And I'm doing weekly prizes for people who check in every single day. And I want to show you guys those check-in posts and stuff. I think I'm actually going to make a Google Drive of all of my posts. So if you guys want to mimic them, or new coaches are looking to how to run a challenge group, they can just literally just pull from my things. So my whole idea of my challenge groups is I want them to be coaches. I want them to be doing personal development. I want them to be encouraging each other and supporting each other. And so all of my posts that I post are geared around having them do activities that essentially are making them a coach. So that inviting them is super easy. And I'm like, dude, you're already doing it. And I'm going to say this real quick before I forget. Because I've been inviting challengers specifically this week, because I just did my sneak peek, I'm now going through my challengers who have had, a week experience in the challenge group and are doing awesome. And I'm inviting them, and every single one of them have said they have thought about coaching, but they don't think they would be good. So when we just blanket statement into our challenge groups, hey, we're doing a sneak peek, they think I wouldn't be good at that and they don't take interest. But if we personally invite them, the truth comes out. And then I can tell them, dude, everything you're feeling right now, every single coach has ever felt. We have training for this, or I felt this way and this is what actually happens. Or so you can actually talk to them. And I have 2 right now that are like, okay, so what do I need to do? All because I personally invited them, not just mass invited to the challenge group. So, and it didn't need to be weird and awkward, because I actually checked in and said, hey, I wanted to check in and say, you're doing freaking awesome. You checked in every single day last week, and I really appreciate you supporting other people. Have you ever thought of being a coach? So it made it way less awkward, because I'm like, dude, you're already doing everything we do. And that's when the truth came out. And they're like, yeah, I've actually thought of it, but I don't think I'd be good. I live in a small town. I'm like, dude, you're in Canada and I'm in Utah, and you picked me as your coach. How is that not like a sign that this has nothing to do with the town you live in? Like, so the whole point is to make them do activities that form them to become a coach naturally, so that inviting them is not awkward. So I have a PD post in the morning. They're all reading Miracle Morning, which most of them are already done with it now. So I think we're going to start 50 Ways to Yay, because I've heard that's like a really good one too.
It is. It's really good.
Okay. So just having them always do a personal development book is one of our focuses. So in the morning, I do something, some motivational, personal development, something type of post. I'm also doing called Take It In Tuesdays, where I'm educating them on different things. So Shakeology, I posted like a 3-minute video of how it's clinically proven to lower your A1C counts and cholesterol, and everybody lost weight and all that. So I posted these videos so that people are seeing, okay, this isn't just a protein shake, because I want them to see the benefits and acknowledge the benefits before their first month, so that then they can't pull it's too expensive, I haven't really noticed a difference. They're already talking about it. And so I can say, well, you said it was helping with your headaches and your hormones or whatever. So when I do these posts in the morning, I always ask a question, always. So the first one was that Darren, what's his name? Who is it? Does compound
Darren Hardy?
Yes, Darren Hardy. It was the Get Pissed video. That was the very first day. And I said, who's pissed? And they all started like going at it. Like, I'm pissed. I'm so sick that I got myself to this point and blah, blah, blah. And then they were all commenting on each other's, oh my gosh, I feel the same way as you. So whenever you ask a question, it gets them to engage, and then they start engaging with each other. So personal development type, motivational, educational posts in the morning. 2:00 in the afternoon is when I do those ones I shared with you guys where they have to answer the 3 questions, check in, and they're doing the same things there. So they're interacting there as well. So it's totally changed the dynamic and energy of the group. It's better than any Facebook group I've ever done because things aren't getting lost. I'm the only coach, so other coaches can't bump my post out of being pinned, so they only see that. So that's basically the gist. And then I just check in, and when I do my workout and Shakeology post, I'm using the challenge group guides as a theme for my posts when I check in with my workout and my shakes. So I go and I look at day 7 or whatever, and yesterday's was like the motivational Monday. Every expert started as a beginner, so don't be discouraged if you're not having results as fast as you thought. So I just used that snippet and then kind of made it my own. So they're also getting that as well. Does that make sense? Okay. So my challenge groups are killing it, which makes it super easy for me to invite people to coaching. So that's my whole, what are you two laughing at? I see your faces and I know you're talking. Sharon and Tiff, you're guilty. What are you laughing at? Sped us up right now. What?
We have a thing between like Emily and Sharon and I about when we share those moments where we were like, I gotta go to the bathroom right now. I gotta run in my house. And I had one of those moments just barely. So I messaged them.
Nice. Okay. So you're not making fun of me. We're good. Okay. Okay. So that's my whole theory behind inviting to coaches, because I have to invite 3 people a day to coaching. That's what, 60 coaches, people I'm talking to a month. That's overwhelming for me. So I need to have an event to invite my Facebook friends to, as well as all of my challengers. I want to make it easy to invite all of my challengers. So that's how I'm making it easy to invite coaches, is through my challenge groups and then also through my Facebook wall. Okay, for inviting to groups, I then took I'm like so not organized. This is on my to-do list. Don't you worry. I took all of the people who were interested in my All Access On Demand and I wrote their names down. And then I also know which ones actually bought, because they're obviously challengers now. But now when I do my Power Hour, I'm targeting these people. This is my free group list. This is my interested in the All Access On Demand list. I'm targeting them specifically to build relationships. I'm also going and commenting on all the new people who have accepted friend requests, or I've accepted friend requests, so that I'm also getting more eyes on my page. So you want as many people to see your crap as possible. So don't just get stuck on targeting. You need to also be getting more new people to see your stuff as well. Okay. So I'm building those relationships. I had my challenge group start at the first of the month. I'm now doing a free group that will start this Friday. It'll go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for prep days. And then it will be Monday through Friday of using the on-demand and the meal plan. And I'm going back and I'm inviting everybody who had interest in the all access and didn't buy. I'm inviting them to the free group. So see, it makes it easy for me to do invites to a challenge group now, because I have something to invite them to, and it's a free group. they just need to be exposed. They just need to understand what a challenge group is. So this gave me, I had 100 people interested in my free group. Of course, not all of them are going to sign up for on demand, but it gives me a whole lot of people to start building relationships with, okay? So I format my month to go challenge group of the 1st, mid-month will be the free group. It'll go for a week, which will end, it'll end about the 27th, which is perfect timing to sign them up for my group. So I'm going to have like monthly. I'm going to focus just on starting people at the 1st of the month. Now, if people buy mid-month, I just throw them into the challenge group, not a big deal. But that's when I'll really focus on actual Success Club is the very, very end and the 1st of the month. So this will end perfect timing to help boost my numbers at the end of the month, as well as get me to Success Club the very first few days of the month. And then once again, I'll be posting about that group on my Facebook wall, getting more people who are interested, and then I will have them to be able to follow up with and put them in my free group. So it's essentially just rolling people from one thing to the next. And as soon as they get into the free group, a lot of them will conform. You know, a lot of them were interested anyway, and the timing wasn't right. That will most likely push them off the edge, at least some of them, get them into my challenge group. Still continue to build relationships with those who did not, invite them to my next free group, okay? So just continuing to roll them around. So I have to do 3 invites to coaching a day, 3 invites to a challenge group a day, and 3 hey girl messages, okay? Hey girl messages I think are actually harder than anything else, because to me, like, I don't want to sit and scroll my feed forever to find something that I genuinely want to message someone about. So what I did with that was I decided to throw a Police Wives Girls Night. And I posted it in the Police Wives page, and anybody who commented, that counted as my Hey Girl message. Why? Because now we have a message thread already started up. So that it's easy for them, which I've already actually had some. Hey, can you tag me in this? Or can you message me this? And so they're already using that message thread to communicate with me. So that's the whole point of Hey Girl messages, is you want a way for them to contact you already set up so that you have a conversation going. So get creative. If you don't want to randomly Hey Girl message people, set up a girls' night in your area for your ward, for whatever, post it in a certain group, and start sending them a Hey Girl message, here's my address, I'm glad you can come to girls' night. Now you've got that thread set up. Does that make sense? So for me, it was all about being creative, yet getting out of my comfort zone. Okay, I can feel like I'm not being salesy and icky and gross when I'm actually doing this in a way that benefits them, and it's not me trying to get numbers. You know what I mean? Okay, so 3 Hey Girl messages, 3 coach invites, 3 challenge group invites a day, 50 comments and likes, okay? So 50 different likes and comments, not like 50 like and comments. Like you want 50 likes and 50 comments. Okay, so if you comment and like on one, that counts as a comment, not a like and a comment. Does that make sense? Okay, that is just getting more eyes to your page. More eyes to your page, obviously, the more success you will have with getting at least people interested in your free groups. Free groups, I only will ever do on-demand ones. I want them to have to put some skin to the game to even get into the free group, and exposing them to the on-demand is huge. We just want them to have the exposure. So I'm going to mimic my challenge groups exactly. I'm going to have a personal development post in the morning. I'm going to encourage them to buy Miracle Morning. I'm going to have a check-in every day for the 5 days, and I'm going to offer them energized packets. So like if they do the full week of check-in, I'm going to send them a card. That's the other thing, is I send them a handwritten card. It took me like an hour to write the 20 cards, but I personalized it to them so they know that I'm paying attention to them. And then I sent them a headband for their weekly prize. So it was like a $1 gift. It was nothing huge, but the fact that they're getting something in the mail makes them like super excited. So I'm going to do that with my free group. So same thing, just a packet of Energize if they check in Monday through Friday. So making my life simple, I don't have to reformat and do different things. I'm literally just going to copy my first week from my challenge group, and that will be the 5 days free group. Yeah?
Okay, question.
Yeah.
So you make them do sign up for the 30-day trial of On Demand to be in your free group.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said if after a free group, if they don't commit to join the challenge group, then you invite them the next month to your next free group. But how do they sign up for On Demand again? Because their 30-day trial's up by then.
That's where hopefully you have a conversation going of, if you want to be in this free group again, then we need to get you going. Here are the options for on-demand, but this is your better option, and take it towards the challenge pack route. But at least they've already experienced it. And if they want in your free group again, like, dude, you need to just do this already. Like, do you know what I mean? It makes it easier to be like, you can get off the fence. So if they want to pay $40 for a quarter, fine. But that's when I would offer them all the options. Like, you're welcome to join my free group again. You've already used your free trial. This is what you can do. So I would use it as a segue.
And then if you send invites to people like 6 months, or I have people from like 6 months ago who have like expressed interest in doing a challenge group.
Absolutely invite them.
And if you invite them month after month after month after month and get crickets and crickets and crickets, do you just keep on like?
No, I would focus on the people who aren't responding. So I would go like, so if it was 6 months back and this is my first month going back and really for real doing invites, I would go back as far as I could and be like, hey, you mentioned you wanted to do this a while ago. I know the timing wasn't right. I'm doing a free group. Are you interested? That's it. The crickets, leave it alone for a few months. Maybe you can revisit it. Keep continuing to build that relationship outside of that. That's where the relationship building is huge. Because if they feel like all you care about is the numbers, they're never going to come around. But if they see you genuinely commenting and building that relationship on their wall, they're not going to be annoyed by those invites. And hopefully they wouldn't ignore you. So I would focus more on the relationship building than worrying about, are they going to be annoyed if I invite them next month? Because you should have a major relationship building going on. Do you know what I mean?
I actually get excited when people say no, because I'm like, oh, at least
Thank
they
you.
respond.
Exactly.
At least they responded to me. Like, I'm so sick of sending out a billion invites and then it's just nothing.
Right.
And I get the little thing that pops up that says like, I know that they've seen it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, nothing.
I would also change your wording if it's common. If you're like inviting a ton of people and you're getting crickets on all of them, it may be your wording. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So trying to think if that covered everything.
Can I ask one question real quick?
Yeah.
So you said you do so at 2 p.m. in your groups, you do like a check-in, 3 questions.
Mm-hmm.
What was that again?
Here, let me just screen share. I'll show you guys what my groups are doing. Okay, and my goal too, every Saturday it's called Saturday, and they have to post a before and after picture. Okay, I didn't think people would do that. And some were like, oh, I'll post it later. Some didn't. Most of them did. So if I can get them used to sharing their progress pictures, that makes it easy to transition as a coach as well. But not only that, they're going to have more accountability to actually follow through because they know they have to post it every Saturday. And they're used to taking progress pictures, which means they're going to submit to the Beachbody Challenge. That's going to be another emphasis in my group is Beachbody Challenge. So let's see. Let me get it open real quick. So I just asked 3 random questions, and I just made like 7 different check-in posts through WordSwag, Canva, WordSwag, whatever, one of them, I can't remember. And then I just repeat them every week. It's the same.
Like Mondays for Monday, Tuesday for Tuesday. Okay.
And they don't say Monday or Tuesday. Like I could switch that around, but they're answering kind of similar questions, but different ones that they're not going to remember that it's not the same one.
3 questions every day.
Yeah. So let me show you. Sorry, I cannot think and talk at the same time. So this is by far the most engagement I've ever had in a group, ever. So there are 42 participants, which some coaches are in here. Okay. Screen share. Okay, can you guys see that? Okay, so like take it in Tuesday. I was annoyed it didn't post my picture, but whatever. So I had 14 people comment. So not as many people will comment on like the morning post, but more will comment on which this makes it easy too, because I can just filter it when I'm the only coach post. And I can easily find who checked in every day because I'm just looking there's only 14 posts to go through for the week. Does that make sense? So when I'm going through and I'm charting who checked in, so this is like a daily check-in. What was your favorite meal today? So people are sharing what they're eating. So I want people to realize you can eat a lot of different foods on this. What was the name of your workout? So prove that they're still working out. And then what were your high and lows for the day? I make them say their high and lows for the day every day because I want them to be aware of their actions and their choices. So what's making them happy and what's causing them to have lows. So just making them super aware. So see 30 comments. So, yeah. So then and then every Monday I'll post a shout out board. They freaking loved this. Okay. And they're like, oh my gosh, let's all get to 7 next week. So then they're encouraging each other to all have perfect check-in scores. So recognition works for coaches. Why wouldn't we do it for challengers? Okay. So this will then be a running total instead of just a weekly total. So it'll be like 14 or whatever.
And are you keeping track of that, or are you like having them send you anything?
No. So I also, in that Google Drive, you guys probably have noticed, I made them do a challenge group or challenger info sheet. So they put in like their name, their address, their email address, their pant size, their shoe size, their shirt size, their favorite color, favorite jewelry color. So I know everything and can get them, like when I gave them their headbands, I was able to customize to their favorite color for most of them. So I want it to be like really personal. So from that list, it was easy to just copy their names and paste it into a separate Google Doc. And I just put the dates for week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and I did it a month at a time. And then just on Sunday night, I went through and just put an X by everybody who commented on Monday's post and Tuesday's post. And does that make sense? So it took like a half hour. That is definitely something I would hire an assistant for, because it was like a waste of my time, but they loved it. So, and then it gives me stuff to talk about on my wall, because then they're like, oh dang, like her people get prizes, or do you know what I mean? And it's showing like I had 20 people check in perfectly, and I had on Saturday, they're saying like how much weight they've lost and all that. And I had one challenger who's lost 13 pounds since the 1st of January. So like I have things to share because they're making them check in. Does that make sense? Okay. So you can see right here, yeah, 30 comments. So I just want the morning post to be motivational, fire them up for personal development. Oh, and then this one, the one I did this morning, this I loved. So it was on that whole video, you know, I was telling you guys about. So then they were telling me what Shakeology has done for them. So this can be used when they're like, oh, I don't want to get it anymore. Like, but you said that you haven't had headaches since you started doing this. Are you sure? Like, it's not worth the meal replacement, you know? And so it gives you ammo, but then they're also seeing everybody else's benefits of it. And they were all different. So this person said they had, you know, headaches every day for 6 months, and they had to get a shot in their neck for her optic nerve that was causing them. And she hasn't had one since she's been on Shakeology. Sugar cravings was a big one. More energy, able to get off top. Anyway, so it's nice to have them acknowledge and say that they're seeing the benefits. So I haven't done this week's post yet. I only did those like a week out, the personal development ones. Oh, and I schedule all of these. So I'm not having to do it like every single day. These are set already a week at a time. I don't have to think about it. I just go in and look at the comments. Where was another one? Hold on. Okay, so like this. How did your weekend go so far? So I'm telling them things they like, kind of stuff we would cover more in prep week, because I didn't go as in depth with my prep week stuff. So stuff to remind them. Remember, your meal plan is 80% of your results, but only 80% of your meal plan being stuck to is going to make you on maintenance. So then they would comment about that. So just think of ways you can get them to acknowledge their behavior is causing their actions and consequences. And also any ways you can lead them to be basically being adult or coaches, adults. Yeah, that too. Okay. So then I want to talk about like accountability and why it's so important to be surrounded by people who are positive and basically feeding them the community of a coach. And then what is something you've noticed from this group that makes you feel unstuck? Okay, so they're acknowledging like having a challenge group keeps them accountable and all that. So see, accountability, it helps to motivate. Yeah, so anyway.
Jalen, where did you get these videos from? The
Darren Hardy videos?
Oh, okay. Darren Hardy.
I just
missed that part.
YouTube, like, Google. So I did like 3 of those last week because his videos are always like freaking awesome. And then just 3 random ones.
Okay.
So there wasn't like really rhyme or reason as far as like, I just thought what would be good starting their first week. So.
Gotcha. I thought you said that was what you were getting off of the Beachbody Challenge.
No. So for the Beachbody Challenge group guides, I use that in my check-ins for my workout and my Shakeology.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. So
super random question.
Yeah.
Are you still mostly signing up people as coaches from the beginning?
Nope. I didn't do that at all for this unless they wanted to coach, simply because of the vital process and that they're talking about that a lot. And at leadership, they talked about it's like 40% more. People are 40% more likely to become a coach when they were a challenger first, because they went through the vital process and have a testimony of the product, versus discount coaches who from the beginning, like, for some reason, they just don't have as much success. And I think part of it is us as coaches. We kind of like, oh, they're already coaches, and we don't give them as much attention. So I haven't, no. But it makes it nice for me to go back and then talk to these people and convert them to coaches. And then they want to run versus me trying to convince them that they want to coach, you know?
Pulling the whole, oh, well, since you're already technically a coach, we could look into this. Yeah.
Nope. So
do you feel like the $40 conversion is a pain? Like, I've had people that just
not if they actually want to coach.
One that's just a retailer, and then people that just like quit altogether because it's too exhausting.
Not if they want to actually coach. They're not going to have that excuse because it's really.
Well, I mean, for like if they're just wanting to be a discounter, you know. Like, I have some people that'll be like, oh, I really like Shakeology, but I just don't want to deal with $40. I'm like, oh, maybe you didn't really like it, I guess.
Yeah, well then whatever, you get commission. So like, I'm just done dragging people and trying. That's my whole thing from seeing this and evaluating where I was last year. I'm not in the business to convince anybody. I'm not doing that anymore. I will expose myself. I'm not going to convince myself. So I will do whatever I can to get more exposure versus dragging the same people and having the same people say they want to do it and don't, and say they want to do it and don't. Like, moving on, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what they've talked a lot about in the Diamond Dash, which I have loved because it's a nice reiteration. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been dragging these dummies for a long time. Not doing it.
Yeah.
That podcast yesterday was like spot on.
So good. Yeah.
Good.
All of them. I've loved them all. Sorry, side note.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. And I think the main thing I want to do is like, dude, I have so much momentum going right now. Like, we need this in the team. Like, I want you guys to feel what I feel. Like this like just feels amazing. Like, this year is going places, but it's all on us individually. Like, I can feel that, but you guys cannot. And it's all our mindset. Everything we do is our mindset. So if we determine that this year is going to freaking rock and we set the goal freaking high and scary, it creates that urgency that Josh Coates talked about in that call that last week. Like, it creates urgency and focus when you set a freaking scary high goal versus we set Success Club 10 and everybody waits until the last freaking 2 days to try and hit because it wasn't scary enough. So when it's Success Club 40, I'm not waiting till the last week of the month because I can't do that. So every week when we meet with him, he's like, hey, treat it as though you're at 0. Urgency and focus, just week to week. So don't look at like, well, that's exhausting. That's a year. Like, no, like week to week, urgency and focus. Okay. So he also has us doing 30 minutes of, we could set the time or whatever on this, but 30 minutes of business development, which I have needed because there have been things I've been wanting to do, but I was too lazy to actually make the time to do it. Now I have to check that off. So it's forcing me to like actually develop the things that are going to help my team, like that Google Drive. I never would have done that because it took me like 30 minutes. It wasn't that big of a deal. But because I had to check that off to be able to stay in the group with him, it's forcing me to do things to make my business more organized. So I recommend 30 minutes of personal development and also business development. That can be trainings for Instagram or Facebook like pages. That can be getting things just organized for your challengers or your groups or your coaches, anything that helps develop your business. Let me pull up and see what else I am missing. Obviously, personal development every single day is a requirement. Hello. And then also, I think sometimes we as coaches, so I don't know, Jerica, did you see Kelly Francis quitting?
What?
Yeah. She's quitting for lip syncs.
What?
Lip sits in her boutique. So anyway, long story short, I was thinking about that, talking with Micah and stuff. Like, I think a lot of it, honestly, is people are looking at this completely wrong. She said she felt like a fraud when she had mono and she couldn't work out. Like, you guys all know that who are pregnant. You know that feeling when you feel like I'm a fraud. It's when we're looking at it wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you're looking at this, like, I'm supposed to be perfect and like this fit and never make mistakes. That's not the point of our job. Our job is to show people that you can live a happy and healthy lifestyle without it being overly complicated. And I think sometimes we complicate that as coaches. Like, that's why yesterday, like, I totally bombed and ate like a bunch of candy. I'm on the ultimate reset. Like, and a lot of people are like, oh, I can't admit that. Like, oh, freak. Yeah, I'm admitting that, because it shows that we're human and it shows that people can be coaches and still make mistakes. But a lot of us have in our head, we've got to be this perfect person because we're coaches. That's BS. That's not what we're trying to do. We all know what it feels like to be stuck, and we're simply trying to help people. So make sure your teams understand that. Like, this is not about, and heck, you can have a financial goal. I have a huge financial goal. That was one of the reasons why I started. But it's so much more than that. It's because I felt like shiz and I was done feeling that way. So, like, your job is to inspire people to live healthy. Your job is not to sell crap, okay? So we've got to get that out of people's heads too. From the very beginning, this is not to sell crap at all. And if you want to sell crap, go do lip syncs, okay? Because that ain't changing nobody's life. So anyway.
I remember when Ashley did a team training for Kelly France about vulnerability. And I remember her specifically saying, like, I need this as much as anybody else because I like my pictures to be pretty and perfect. And it's hard to put like a no makeup selfie on, like, she didn't like any of that. And I think that was hard for her to like.
Yeah, I think, and it's hard for a lot of people, but I think honestly, that's why our team is awesome. I think that's something we do really well at. And we just need to keep instilling in our new coaches. Like, this is not about sales. You will have financial like blessings and you will be blessed with financial wealth from this business if you're inspiring others. That is what it comes down to, and it always will. Like, you have to be in this to help others or you're going to quit as a freaking 5-star coach. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to have more grounding than just you want to make money or you're not going to last. And that's not the point of this business. Like, I couldn't ever quit this because it's what keeps me going. It's what keeps me happy and pushing for better and to become more. Like, without that, I would be like everybody else who's miserable in life, you know? So.
Well, and kind of like we talked about today, like, if you're going through a hard time, like, I slowed down at the beginning of my pregnancy, so what? Like, you don't just quit.
No, just be real. And everybody knows what it's like to be pregnant and feel like shiz. Like, everybody knows that. And no one's going to be like, but you're a health coach. You're not supposed to be morning anymore. Like,
well, just accept it. Like, you probably won't grow your business for a minute and you probably won't make a lot of money for a minute.
But that's also a mindset thing. That's not the truth. Because
right.
Monica and Ashley Smith, and they didn't slow down when they were pregnant.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's all our personal mindset. And that's what I hope we can instill in our team is, if that's because you feel like you're on your deathbed, please don't quit the business because of that. But at the same time, don't kill yourself if you have a bad month. Like, it's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it really is our mindset. If we think we're going to suck at this, we're going to suck at this. If we think we're going to recruit 10 coaches and hit Success Club 40, we're going to recruit way more than we would at Success Club 10 and 3 coaches. Do you know what I mean? Right. So it really is a mindset thing. And we've got to get.
Wouldn't you rather set a higher goal and almost at least get to that? Like, I was talking to my sister. I'm not kidding. She told me, she's the one that is like anti-Beachbody that my nephew called me. She told me she will not set goals because it scares her to fail.
Yep, that's the problem with our culture. And I'm like, that's what we need to emphasize too in our posts. Like, when we're talking about that, like, yeah, maybe I failed, but I'm still better than I was had I not tried at all. But people are so scared of that, and it's weird. And that's also where you find joy, when you're pushing your limits of your mindset. Like, I was seriously sick. Like, I know it's so stupid, but to do invites, I was like, I'm going to vomit. This makes me sick. And it took me all freaking day to figure out how I was going to do this. And I was like, heck yeah, I did it. Like, as soon as I was done, because I did something scary. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really is just getting people to see that you will feel better in life when you push yourself to become better. So that's the whole point of this business, is to become better. It is not, well, you can make millions, but that's not the point of the company. And Beachbody preaches that all day long. So those who are wanting nothing but money, well, they're miserable anyway. Do you know what I mean? So, and look, you guys all know that I have a huge financial reason of being here, but it's got to be bigger than that, or else you're going to hate this when you're not a millionaire overnight, you know? So okay, I pulled up my thing. So social media, 3 posts a day to Instagram and Facebook, which I was pretty much doing that. But there are some days I was like, I'll just do 2. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to justify yourself when you don't have that accountability. And when you're paying someone lots of money a month to be your push coach, you're going to more likely do crap. So I suggest, if he has any groups, get in them, because it makes you actually commit to doing it, rather than, because we're our own bosses, it's easy to justify. So when you have someone pushing you because you paid money, like the Diamond Dash, you're more likely to do the work. Okay. Instagram story. So just making sure I do some of that. 50 comments and 50 likes, 3 Hey Girl messages, 3 challenger invites, 3 coach invites, 30 minutes of personal development, and touching base with a diamond or working coach. Okay. So with all of my new coaches, I am putting them into a thread, like I think all of us do, but I'm actually like putting their new little coach announcement picture in as well, saying, hey, company welcome, whatever. So they see a face and they automatically connect with who that person is. And so it like breaks the ice. They were like crickets yesterday and today. So I'm like, hello, tap, tap, anybody here? And did like a picture of, what's the singer who does hello, that song? Anyway, I posted it. Yes. No. That Little Richie, Lionel Richie, whatever. That song.
Oh.
Yeah, that one. Anyway, so it like posted a GIF, and then it broke the ice and they came back. So don't be scared to like, it's the same concept with your new coaches. Get them engaged and talking in a message thread. They're more likely going to do stuff together. It's just like a challenge group. So treat your new coaches like challengers and just getting them engaged, okay? But we need to, I'm going to get the recording from Micah. We went to corporate last week and Doug did like the elite breakdown. I don't think she's posted it. Maybe she has, but she recorded it. So I'm going to get the link and post it. And he breaks down elite and how you can get there. And it really is simple. We just get like overwhelmed by things that don't take us there. So I'll post that, watch that. And then like, let's seriously like break some numbers down and set up goals for you guys. Like big, scary A goals, and not just like 10-star. I'm talking like your daily activities, monthly goals. Because I don't think any of us as leaders should be doing Success Club 10. Because what happens, especially if you don't hit Success Club 10 one month, all of a sudden Success Club 5 is good enough, right? And it's not. It's not. That's like maintaining if you're lucky. So if we're doing that, our coaches are doing half. And that's also why as a leader, you have to up your game, because your team will generally do about half of what you do. So if you want Success Club 10, your coaches to hit that to help you with everything, volume, elite points, you need to hit 20. And with 3 Success Club points, that's 7 instead of 5. That's not that big of a jump. Okay. So really look at your numbers and break down and like double. Okay. Because that's what it was for me. And I'm almost there. And it's halfway through the month. Okay. So you just have to urgency and focus. And I promise the connect thing will help a ton, the 50 connect thing. And then having a specific target list and formatting your months, marketing your months so that you can do all these invites easily, as well as have a marketing plan. So you're not challenge group, invite like every day of the week, you know. I think it will help the whole team. So we just need to get our teams to do the same. If nothing else, they need to be doing the 50 connects. but really they need to be doing invites too. So it'll make you more intentional as well with your team, setting up a schedule of we're doing a sneak peek this day, or I'm going to be doing a webinar at the end of the month for coaching. So I have something else to invite coaching to. And that's Josh's big thing is to do, as soon as I figure it out, I'll let you guys know because I don't know what I'm doing yet, but is getting your like pages and Instagram and ads and stuff working for you while you're working your butt off, because then like you just compound a ton. So webinars are a huge way to get people, instead of just going live on your like page, you set an event because they have to accept going, so you know who's actually interested. So it's not just a number on the screen, you actually get names of people who are interested. So plan like webinars, and he sent one that Raina Odell did. Go find hers. I wonder if there's a way you can find it. She did it on like December 21st. It was still available last week to watch. And it was all about being positive, living positively through adversity is what she titled it. Okay. And it was all about her life story and how being a challenger, essentially, she's a coach, but becoming a challenger changed her life through health and fitness and personal development. So you can do a webinar on anything. It's just to build an audience and stuff like that. So think of that. And as soon as I figure that out, I'll let you guys know. But be intentional with when you're planning your challenge group start dates, free group start dates, sneak peek start dates, so that it all flows easily. Okay. So my goal is to hit Success Club the first 2 days of the month, so the rest of the month I can focus on recruiting coaches instead of challengers.
When do you typically, like I know you just did sneak peek last week, but like to schedule it out, so you would do a challenge group like the first week of the month, and then would you do it like the second or?
So second or third is probably what I would do, but depending on how the webinar goes, I might just do a sneak peek like I did. It was the second week, second Thursday, and then do a webinar the last Thursday, because that helps with everything. It helps with end of month numbers as well as first of month numbers. And that will be more based on your like page than your personal page. So it's not like you'd be advertising a crazy amount for each of them, you know? And I only did one. Like my goal is to do like one major call to action post and a whole freaking ton of jabs for each thing. So one free group call to action post, and I'll do like breadcrumbing, like I'm finalizing it, blah, blah, blah type post, but not like a huge call to action, so that it doesn't look spammy. And I think as we breadcrumb over long periods of time, then when you do it, you've got a lot bigger audience of people wanting to do it versus like she's getting annoying with all the call to action posts, you know?
And you typically, like you were saying, you only do like one invite post basically a week for what's coming the next, right?
Yep. And I don't do it all on Sunday night because I think that also gets repetitive. So I switch it up. So, yeah.
Do you still feel like nights are better for call to action, or?
It just depends on your market. But yeah, for mine, it's nights.
Okay.
Like midweek nights. Those are the best when people aren't checked out. So like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays seem to be good nights for people to see stuff.
Well, especially like Sundays, like there's always games on, like, cause I tested one out this Sunday and I tested it like when a game was over, and it like, not really, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Sundays are kind of overrated a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. Especially as the NFL is going on. So that you definitely have to pay attention to that stuff. So I would almost rather do, midweek ones versus Sunday night ones on days like that. So, and I typically don't overthink that. To be honest, I threw that free group one up out of nowhere because I was like, oh shiz, the diamond group is doing it. I should probably do it. And it was a hit because I had talked enough about what I was doing. So yeah. So I won't do another one because that was enough people, and Facebook almost put me in jail for copying and pasting 100 people the same. You're not using this for its intended purpose. My gosh, dang. So don't copy and paste to 100 people. I'm just telling you that now.
Great.
Anyway, okay. Did that help you guys?